The mission of U.S. Farmers and Ranchers in Action is to bring all of American agriculture together with farmers and ranchers at the center to collectively identify and tackle critical long-term issues. Today, our focus is on the Dairy Conservation Navigator. It is an online platform that consolidates science based information about dairy conservation topics and the practices and technologies that reduce a farm's environmental footprint. Created by the U.S. Dairy Checkoff, the platform simplifies complex sustainability topics by sharing educational materials and technical insights. I am joined with Jackie Coleman. She's the Senior Vice President of Sustainability Partnerships and Stewardship at Dairy Management Incorporated, and also Bridget Hilshey. She is the Senior Director of Sustainability Projects at Dairy Management Incorporated. So we're going to learn more about the platform, key features, popular topics, connection to consumers, and more. But first, why was it created? Bridget, I'll have you answer first. And Jackie, if you could add, can you get us up to speed on why the Dairy Conservation Navigator was created and the history behind it?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, the Dairy Conservation Navigator was created to fill a major gap in how sustainability knowledge is shared across the dairy industry. Too often, ag conservation is fragmented, or it might be overly technical, or it might be buried in different kind of isolated research projects. And this makes it really difficult for farmers and farmer advisors to get access to that up-to-date, clear, actionable insights that they really need to make informed decisions. And so in 2024, the DMI sustainability team began working on a solution. It was going to be a centralized, user-friendly platform that translates this complex science into really practical guidance. And the goal was to create a one-stop shop for sustainability information. We wanted everything users needed to explore these complex topics in a single place so that they could identify what their options are and understand all the different implementation requirements and assess all the different economic trade-offs. The platform integrates both peer-reviewed science and real-world implementation tips, along with information about the different funding opportunities into a single, easy-to-navigate site. More than 70 different experts have contributed. These include farmers, nutritionists, agronomists, researchers, and extension staff. And we did this to ensure that there was both scientific credibility and everything was practical and really applied to what the farmer needed to know. We launched the site about 10 months ago, and it's really been incredibly rewarding to see how well it's been received.
Yeah, I mean, this sounds like a magical unicorn. It really is real. You can go to dairyconservation.org and see it for yourself. Jackie, anything you'd like to add on the history of why it was created?
Yeah, I would just say that, we saw this was a common need across many of the groups that we spoke with. Everyone from NRCS staff to crop advisors and agronomists, the veterinarians, and even our own farmers. So we really hope that this platform is a tool that all of those farm advisors can use, offering them a little piece of education so that they can provide even better support to the farmers that they work with.
Right, it's pulling a lot of resources into one site. Now, Bridget, what are some of the key features of the Navigator?
Sure, it has three main components that I'll touch upon real quick. The first one is a learning hub, and this right now contains 13 short courses on key dairy sustainability topics. Each course is designed to meet a different learning style. So for each one, we have a video, we have handouts, and even editable slide decks, because we know that people like to learn in different ways. There's also a really comprehensive practice and technology library. This is where users can filter by over 80 different conservation practices. They can filter by region or by farm size, environmental benefit, funding, and lots of other features. And then for each practice in the library, there's a practice page that includes more detailed information about the practice, a summary of how the practice will benefit farmers, lots of implementation tips, information on capital expenses, as well as additional resources. We like to think of this like an online shopping experience, but for conservation practices. And really recently, we added a tools, models, and guides section that will house all the materials created by DMI to support decision making and action in the sustainability space. The whole thing is totally free, easy to access. It doesn't require a login or anything.
I love that you said shopping experience because that is definitely the vibe you get when you are on the Dairy Navigator, but it's all for conservation and improving your farm business. Now, Bridget, what has been the most popular topic on the Dairy Conservation Navigator, and how does that vary geographically?
Oh, that's such a fun question. Right now we're seeing a lot of interest in enteric emissions and practices related to different innovative manure management practices. I think these are something that's new, they're complicated, and the space is a little bit confusing. So people are really using this site to figure out what's out there and what is the status of these different practices. And regionally, there's certainly patterns too. In the upper Midwest and in the Northeast, most of the traffic is focused more around practices that maybe reduce erosion or improve water quality. But out west, it's a lot more focused on irrigation upgrades or manure management practices. And the site's filters really allow users to drill down on what's most relevant to them. One of the thing that One of the things that I think is most exciting too is that we are having thousands of people use the site and individuals from all different states and even 30 different countries. And as this usage grows, we're going to be able to better understand what people are looking for and how they prefer to learn. And then we'll be able to use this information to kind of prioritize and strategically focus on different material development in the future.
Right. That's really interesting. And I'm curious too, with the, certain times of the year, do you see farmers looking up like when they're getting ready to plant cover crops? Is that usually when someone's looking for that information, or are they planning ahead and they're 3 months in advance of, okay, I got to be thinking about what I'm doing this fall? Do you see anything with seasonality and planting?
That's such a good question. I don't think we really have the use metrics to kind of be able to suss that out quite yet. But I think as the site kind of continues to grow and adapt and we get more and more traffic, we will be able to kind of pick out exactly when and what people are using for different purposes at different times, which I really look forward to exploring.
Right. This baby, the Dairy Conservation Navigator, is not even a year old. So we're just getting
Yeah.
all that data and all that insight to be able to share. But that's really interesting to see what some of those metrics are going to share with all of you. We also have Jackie with us. Jackie, how does the Dairy Conservation Navigator fit into the broader work that DMI does in this space?
Yeah, thanks, Joanna. I think, well, first, the work that our team does really falls into three main areas. We've got a team that works on research that is looking to address the knowledge gaps on environmental impacts and outcomes of dairy farming. Then we have folks that are working on modeling and decision support tools to help farmers make informed decisions and demonstrate the progress that our industry is making. And then third is this area of stewardship and partnership. And that really captures all our efforts to expand the capacity to better serve our farmers, providing them technical support, financial support, and solutions that work for all farms and all locations. And so I really see the Dairy Conservation Navigator working across all of these pillars. First, serving as an educational tool, but also sharing the learnings of our industry leading research and providing easy access to those tools and models that Bridget spoke about earlier. So it's been a great way to bring all our work together and offer that, like we said, in a one-stop shop place for folks to reach all of this information.
Right. We know DMI has a close connection with consumers. How does the Dairy Conservation Navigator have a connective piece to the consumer? And how can they engage with it?
Yeah, good question, Joanna. The Dairy Conservation Navigator is intended for those that have some familiarity with dairy farming. While consumers are certainly welcome to visit and perhaps learn from some of the educational materials on our Learning Hub, our consumer-facing site is really usdairy.com. On that site, consumers can learn about U.S. Dairy's longstanding commitment to sustainability and animal care, along with some great health and wellness information and even delicious recipes. So we welcome consumers to check out usdairy.com. If they do want to dig a little deeper, they're certainly welcome to visit the Conservation Navigator.
Jackie, I'm curious, since you've launched the Dairy Conservation Navigator, has any industry reached out or asked questions about it?
Yes, that's something that we've seen a lot of folks expressing interest. I mean, I think the platform and the ease of use and the understandability of it has caused a lot of attraction from different commodities and different industry groups who might be doing something similar or have recognized the need and want to partner with us to help make the platform even better and stronger. We're definitely open to that, providing additional resources on here or linking out to people's resources that have been helpful to their audiences. That's something we want to continue to do as we continue to grow the platform.
Right. This next question, Bridget, I'll have you answer first. And Jackie, if you could add, there's a lot of conservation tools out there. How is this one different?
I love that question. I really think what really makes the Dairy Conservation Navigator unique is that it's not just another information dump. We've really tried to design it to be a knowledge hub. We built the Navigator to bridge that gap between funding and research and real-world application, and it brings everything together in this real practical, cross-disciplinary way with honest discussions of the benefits of certain practices as well as the trade-off. And the whole thing is completely free and brand neutral. There's really nothing else out there like this right now. A lot of tools may focus on one topic or one funding program or one information type, and this pulls together information across those different spectrums with filters and visuals and case studies, all to support decision making. Again, it's like an online shopping site, and it's really intuitive and it's easy to use.
Jackie, anything you'd want to add?
Yeah, I would just underline the idea that, it really is a non-biased resource. We're not looking to sell anything or promote any one vendor. We simply want to provide educational materials that can help people make more informed decisions. All the information we share is science-based, it's cited, it's USDA reviewed, so people can feel very confident in the rigor that was put behind the materials presented. And then, as Bridget mentioned, we worked with over 70 subject matter experts, but we also worked with dairy farmers themselves to provide their perspective on what it takes to implement some of these practices, the good and the bad, the challenges and the opportunities. So I feel like it provides that great, well-rounded perspective.
Right. And over time, it's only going to get better. Jackie, how often is new content added to the platform, and can people submit their own research?
Yes, we are always looking to improve the Dairy Conservation Navigator. We want to ensure we're sharing the latest research, the latest implementation insights, and more. We continue to work with subject matter experts to expand different areas, topic areas, and you'll see at the bottom of each page, there's a contact us button. And we encourage folks to reach out to us if you have additional information on a topic, if you see some information that you'd like to dig deeper on, if you have resources that you already use that you'd like to incorporate, we strongly encourage that. We also have a mailing list where users can share their email address, and we will keep them up to date on things that have been added to the platform or changes that we're making over time. You mentioned we're not even a year old, and we plan to add a lot more stuff to the site as we grow and learn what's relevant and useful to all our users. So that mailing list is a great way to keep in touch.
Yeah. Last question as we wrap up this episode of Farm Food Facts. Bridget, I'll have you answer first. And Jackie, if you could add, what future goals does DMI have for the Dairy Conservation Navigator?
Well, we really are just getting started. I think we're really excited to continue to expand this resource and really meet the demands of the users. So right now we're focused on expanding the Learning Hub content to include more courses. We're also trying to increase farmer visibility by promoting peer stories and testimonials of farmers around the country. Right now, I'm currently building out kind of an expansion to the video library that will include more farmers in different areas of the country talking about their experiences and lessons learned implementing some of these really innovative practices. We're also partnering with co-ops and different conservation groups to integrate the Navigator into some of their outreach and technical assistance strategies.
And Jackie, what would you like to add?
Yeah, I think just a couple things. We are exploring turning some of the content on the Dairy Conservation Navigator into continuing education credits for folks so they can get credit for building that deeper understanding on these topics. And we'd also love to partner with organizations that are working in this space to highlight the great work that's happening across the industry. It takes a Herculean effort. And so we want to work with those partners that have good ideas and make the experience the most seamless for our users.
Right. It's the Dairy Conservation Navigator. It's your one-stop shop. You can go to dairyconservation.org to learn more and get signed up. We'll make sure that we include some of those important links in the podcast description so you can learn more. U.S. Farmers and Ranchers in Action plays the critical, important role of creating opportunities for collaboration, information sharing, and solution development for the full agricultural value chain. We appreciate your time. And if you enjoyed listening to our podcast, please subscribe and rate us on your favorite podcast app. Tune in again. I'm Joanna Guza for Farm Food Facts. All right, you guys. I thought that went really good. Any hesitations on anything?
I always wish I would talk slower. I'm so bad about that.
No, I thought it was really good. So if you don't have any hesitations, I thought it was good. I always just say that just in case you're like, I didn't say this part. I can
Sure.
easily throw that back up there. So, okay, we'll do the bonus question. It's going to run kind of the same. I'll do the intro. Jackie, I'll have you lead, and then Bridget, you can add whatever you want to say, and then I close it. Okay? So this is short and sweet. So we'll do the bonus question then in 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back to Farm Food Facts, brought to you by the U.S. Farmers and Ranchers in Action. I'm your host, Joanna Guza. While we have our guests on the line, we want to get their insights on the future of agriculture and what they're keeping a close eye on. Our guests were on an earlier episode talking about the Dairy Conservation Navigator, so I highly recommend that you check that out. We are joined with Jackie Coleman. She's the Senior Vice President of Sustainability Partnerships and Stewardship at Dairy Management, Inc., and also Bridget Hilsche. She is the Senior Director of Sustainability Projects at DMI. With this bonus question, I'd like you to answer this question, and Jackie, I'll have you go first. What topics are you keeping an eye on that will have a positive and or negative impact on the future of agriculture?
Oh boy, there's so many topics affecting our farmers today, Joanna. A couple areas that are very relevant to the work of our environmental sustainability team. Water. We're taking a closer look at water use efficiency and water quality. We want to better understand how we can optimize the use of water on our dairy farms and ensure that we're continuing to be good stewards of the nutrients that we apply to the land. So definitely a hot topic for us and for the broader industry. Second, I'd say financing. Many conservation and sustainability practices have financial barriers to adoption. The work that we do to convene the dairy value chain and the ag lending world, we're encouraging an open dialogue about these topics and working together towards solutions that can better support our farmers in that space is really critical, especially in this time of uncertainty with different government funding, private and public funding coming together. We really need an all-hands approach to making that happen. And then lastly, I would just say we're really excited that the conversation has not slowed down. The dairy value chain, our farmers, our co-ops, and our processors remain committed to sustainable dairy farming. And I'm really encouraged by many of the conversations I've been hearing, bringing groups together to help support and scale, the good work that our dairy farmers are doing. So it is ever changing, but still exciting space to be in.
Yeah, lots of things to keep an eye on. Bridget, from your perspective, what are you keeping an eye on?
Well, I guess I'm a soil scientist by training, so I really get excited by anything agronomy related. And lately, I've been really interested in how farmers are using their data to fine-tune their crop production. It's pretty amazing right now that farmers can adjust everything from planting, fertilizer use, and tillage decisions based on weather and past yields and soil maps and satellite imagery. And when that happens, it's really a win all around. They use fewer inputs, the operation is more efficient, more cost efficient. And then as a result of this kind of precision application of different practices, they can also have healthier soils, fewer GHG emissions, and better water quality around the farm. And what I really love is that this doesn't rely on any kind of brand new technology. Everything's already out there. We just have to be a little bit smarter about using the data we already have. And it's these kind of smart management decisions that I really think are going to drive both positive economic returns for the farmers and sustainability gains.
Definitely. That last voice was Bridget Hilsche. She is the Senior Director of Sustainability Projects at DMI. You also heard from Jackie Coleman, the Senior Vice President of Sustainability Partnerships and Stewardship at DMI. Again, you can check out their earlier episode talking about the Dairy Conservation Navigator. Well, we know your time is valuable, and we appreciate that you spend it with us. Tune in again. I'm Joanna Guza for Farm Food Facts.